W7024, turning left downwind, runway 19.
Yeah, see that little golf ball sized water tower out there in the woods? Just kind of point the plane to that for a minute. We'll use that. And the Wawa building is, I think, right in front of us. So we're going to turn somewhere between here and the Wawa. That's the Wawa right down there. Oh, actually, it's right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so somewhere between here and the Wawa. I just want to give him an extra 30 seconds so he's not in our way every time we go around. That looks pretty good. Just keep the climb going at 500 feet or 80 knots, somewhere right in there. Your ball, it looks pretty centered right now, but keep an eye on that. As soon as you think you're 90 degrees, which should be right about there. Just keep your climb going though. There you go. Because we want to get to 1,000 feet. You can go ahead and turn right, because we're going to be on a wide downwind again. There you go. So now you can anticipate the 1,000 right now. You can put the nose down while we're in the turn, right? There's nothing the matter with that.
Okay.
And then as soon as you line up with the outside edge of this, you can just pull the power back to 18 and we'll be all set. Now you're going to be slowed down and you can get your flaps in. You can start your descent a little earlier and everything. Goodness, we gave him lots of room. Let's go in this way a little bit, Leo, so we don't have a 2-mile wide base. So I'm just going to point you where I think. And by the way, the wind is pushing you this way.
Yeah.
So let's make correction for that. Let's just go. Let's go to 20 for a minute. There we go. 19.
Final, runway 19, flying W.
There's no left final, just left base. Okay, so we're a little bit low right now, so we don't have to fix that, but you got to be aware of it, because if we turn way out there like he did, so we're going to turn, because we're descending already, let's go ahead and put the carb heat on. And you can put 1 notch of flaps, we're in the white arc there. Now let's put the nose back down, and you can start your descent right here.
Okay.
We're already low, so we're going to turn sooner. And the only problem with that is it looks like, you know, so keep that nose down. Keep that nose down. That's the sight picture out the window you want. Let's go ahead and start turning base. I'm just going to push it a little bit there. Now you should see the Earth is getting really big. That's a little too much. You'll get used to this. This is just like taxiing. Pretty soon, you'll be doing this. So there's wind pushing you this way now, and our nose just came up, so push your nose back down. I'm going to add another notch of flaps. You can just focus on. So we got to keep that nose down. Let's hold that pitch attitude right there. That's the picture you want. Whatever that looks like, burn that into your brain. We're going to add the rest of the flaps right now, and in 1, 2, 3, we're going to turn final. Flying W traffic, 62862, based final 19, flying W. Okay, so that's a little too much, but there you go.
Clear runway 19.
Now just line yourself up at the runway. Keep the nose pointed down though, because we are landing, right? The plane's not going to land in the field, because if anything happens, all we do is just add power.
Yeah.
So we're just going to keep it where it was, right at 17 or so. There's the red light and the white light. Look at this. Push the nose down a little though, because we're pitching way up. Nobody ever wants to land. Everybody always wants to fly. Okay, so this looks good. You can start working the power back. And now is when we don't want to pull up, we just want to hold it. And now we just lift a little bit. Just a little bit. That's about it right there. Okay, so carb heat's off. Sorry, flaps are up, and we're going to go full power. And feed off the brakes, and that's it right there. Call 60. You can rotate. You can go ahead and rotate. There you go. You have the plane. Just fly straight between these trees. That looks good.
It buffets a little bit every time we take off like that?
Well, I think the wheel is vibrating. Is that what you're talking about?
That could be that.
So I'll tell you in a second. Let me just get rid of this traffic warning. So what's happening is we're starting to take off, and the wind is starting to push the plane sideways, and the wheels are dragging sideways on the runway, and that's what that skipping feeling is. So when that happens, you just want to get the thing off the ground a little bit. we were probably going like 65 and we hadn't left the ground yet completely. And the wind started pushing the plane sideways.
So on my climb, I should be 76, right?
Anywhere between 75 and 80 right here is fine. You're not going to have a problem. So you can go ahead and turn right now. 62862, left crosswind 19, flying W, close traffic. I'm going to get rid of this old flight plan I have here. So look out the window, you should immediately recognize you stopped climbing, right? There you go.
I'm not at 90 yet.
It's okay. You're doing fine. This is the hard part. After you get this stuff down, you're going to learn so much about how to control this airplane. We need to turn downwind though. As soon as you get to the outside of this nursery, we should already be heading down there. But there's no harm done. It's just we're going to have to head back in a little bit.
All right, we're at 1,000.
Yep, you know what to do at 1,000, right? Carb heat, power back, and I want to get eyes on that guy in the 152 only because I think he's
He's
young.
taking off right now.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure that we're spaced as evenly in the pattern as we can be with him. So we're descending right now, that's fine, except we're pointing away from the airport. So let's turn a little bit inward because the wind's going to keep pushing you that way. There you go. So what can we do right now though? We need to lift the nose a little bit.
Lift the nose and then get it to white arc.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know if we're going to rip the wings off if we put the first 10. The first 10 degrees of flaps don't really do anything. They slow you down a little bit. But I think it does damage the flaps by not having them in. So we're at 800 feet, so we could descend, delay our descent just a little bit. Because now we're 250 feet lower. So I would go ahead and start turning toward the airport. You can go ahead and turn base. And we're a little light on the power, which is making us sink a little. So let's go 17 or 8. I would go 18 here. And we won't put any flaps in yet, any more flaps, because that'll just slow us down too. So this looks like a good descent rate, except we're not pitched.
Looks like we're slipping too to the right.
Well, the wind is definitely pushing us. It was 240, right? So coming from over there somewhere. Let's put that nose down a little bit. There you go. So we still want to go down. We just don't want to go down too slow or too fast. So now we're going to put the rest of the flaps in. Every time we put flaps in, the nose is going to momentarily pitch up. So we want to hold it down. Now you can bring the power back to probably like 16 and a half. I'm just guessing. I'm going to trim the nose down a little because it seems like it's a little high. Flying W traffic, Skyhawk is based final 19. So we're inside the wire now. This is a completely different kind of landing than we did the last two times where we came in over the power lines. So we're descending at 500 feet per minute, so we're going to have to add a little power to make it to the runway. There you go. That's it right there. That's all. A little bit more, just a little bit more. There you go. That's probably going to do it. We're at 65 knots. We're at 62 knots. I'm holding a little. Now you can start working the power back. We're going to land pretty short on the runway this time. You can take the power all the way out, and this is where we're just going to hold it. There's nothing the matter with that landing. So that shimmy is just because the nose wheel's, you know, loose. Not loose, but I'm going to go full power. I thought you were talking about right here. Watch what happens.
Yeah, when we leave.
Watch what happens if we don't get the plane off the ground right away. So right there, the plane wants to fly, and the nose wheel's probably dragging sideways a little bit. And now that vibration you feel is the nose wheel, the wheel spinning. So we just put the brakes on and stop the spinning. So let's go a little bit, there you go. And now just lift the nose a little for these trees, you're good. Okay, so we got flaps up, carb heat off, mixture's full rich, throttle's in all the way. I'm just gonna keep my hands on that for a second. You can steer us out of here. Looks good though. So every landing we did was a touch and go. If you feel like, you know, you want to take a break and taxi back one time, we can do a full stop landing, or we can keep doing these.
Keep doing these.
Keep doing these. So there's the horse track. You can probably turn left. Keep the climb going, the ball's nice and centered, that's good. And this time, you know the wind is pushing you somewhere this way. And that's why our base, our downwind is so far out. So this time, anticipate that and just keep this turn coming around. Don't even bother leveling off. Just make it a 180-degree turn. And watch this. Now we'll be really nice inside the nursery. And you kind of want to be pointing at that brick building out there, I think.
Yeah.
Right in front of us.
The jail.
The jail, yep. Okay, and if you just level off here, we're not quite at 1,000, so let's use some of that airspeed and watch this. We'll get to 1,000 real fast. You can pull the power back while we're doing that. And there's 18 and 1,000. You just drop the nose a little, you're in the white arc. And that's really easy, right? Carb heat, right, yep, carb heat. And now, some people, Leo, like to get the plane all trimmed up. So there you are at 18. Some people like to get the plane all trimmed up so it'll kind of fly. But every time you add flaps, two things are going to happen. The nose is going to want to come up a little, so you're going to have to push it down. And then you might have to trim it up a little more. So watch. Let's add one notch of flaps right here. The nose wants to come up a little, so we push it down. I don't feel the need to trim it too much. I'm going to leave it back to you, though, because you're flying. So this looks really good. Now we're at 850 feet. The wires will turn right after these power lines.
Back to 1,800 a little.
How's that feel?
Right after?
Yeah, you can play around with it, because you're going to be going to other airports soon. So look how much earth is out here now, so you know you're descending too much, right?